Bonjour, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all well. Right, I was going to try to be professional on this. I've got all my notes written out, etc., and realised that actually I'm terrible at doing that. So I'm going to do what I normally do and make it up as I go along. So here I have I think you pronounce it this way, Laguiole. So a little brief history about this little knife. I purchased this myself about, blimey, 1 second, no editing here. I purchased this myself about 10 years ago. I bought it in France from it was like a little art sort of shop, sold knives. Actually, that's a lie, actually. It was an antique shop, now I'm thinking about it. And it was in the cabinet there. And it was I'm pretty sure it was around my 40-ish sort of birthday sort of time. So I treated myself. I think at the time, it was about €90, which, at that time was not a lot of money, probably £60, £70 maximum. So let's have a little walk around. Unfortunately, I don't have the box anymore. But I think, if I remember correctly, it was ram's horn, the covers, and they are absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at the thickness of them. Really, really, really high quality. Really nice. And then we go. So if I go through everything, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through each item on it and then sort of take it from there. So there's the back spine. No, it's sort of like a leaf, isn't it? Sort of, it's not difficult to see, like a leaf. There we go. And then the bee, although I've been doing some research and not necessarily a bee, it could actually be a fly, which I never realised. And after doing some research on this, that the fly here, or bee, is what that part of the knife is called, the fly. So quite interesting. Apparently, the bee sort of, when they say it's a bee, it's to do with Napoleon, I think, that gave permission for the village of Laguiole to be able to use it on their knives. So there you go. That's the back spring. And then the bolsters, which they must be nickel silver, aren't they? Pretty sure they're nickel silver. That one's quite plain. And then you have this one, the end, let me call it the end bolster, which looks a little bit like a shoe, which has some pattern in there, file work, I'm not sure what you call it. Then we have the main blade. And I think this is called galoche. Is it galoche? I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, I'm not very good at it. I do research, but I'm not very good at remembering it. Anyway, so there we go. Let's open it up. So Laguiole is a small village in the south of France. I did a little bit of research. Very small village. Well, I say small, 1,200 people. There you go. But apparently the name Laguiole is not, anybody can use that name. There is no copyright or trademark on it as such. So, I know it's stamped there with the name on it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually real. And I suppose necessarily fake, because if there's no copyright, then it's a difficult one, isn't it, to distinguish. I think the real ones are made in the village itself. So there's the main blade. I think I'm not great at this sort of thing, whether that's is that classed as a drop point? There you go. So there's the main blade. And I did get my little, what they're called, jeweler's loop on it. And I think it's 12C27, by the looks of it. So yeah. It just stopped really sharp. I always feel like I'm going to chop my fingers off with it, which is, has a good snap, which I shouldn't have done actually, which makes me another point. It doesn't have a stop pin as such, which apparently none of the real ones do have a stop pin. So there's nothing in there whatsoever. And you're probably not going to see on this, but you can see if I get it on camera where the blade does slightly wrap around there on the spring. So let me shut it a bit more softly. So that's the main blade. Excuse me. And then we have the reason, to be fair, that I bought it for. Because at the time, I did spend a fair amount of my life in France. So the obligatory corkscrew, which does work fantastically well. And also it's fantastic because if you look at it, you can pick it up on camera. It is curved. And so when you close it, it does follow the contour of the knife, which is fantastic. Thought it was bent when I first bought it, but you can see it there. Fantastic. So there's the corkscrew. I mean, I'm assuming it's all made out of the same steel. I can't see any reason, excuse me, why they would change it for different parts of the knife. And then, which also sold it to me at the time because I thought it was quite funny, the awl. And I think in France it's called the Trocar. And I have done some research on this. So these knives are apparently quite, if it's a genuine Laguiole, are quite sought after because they're called a 3-piece or a cattle knife. So the reason for the awl is quite bizarre, really. So not only did they use it for obviously piercing and prodding, perhaps untying knots, it was used to relieve cattle and perhaps sheep of pressure in their stomachs from escaping and eating too much grass, which is bizarre. So eating too much grass and then a mass production of nitrogen in their bellies. So to relieve the pressure of the nitrogen, they it's got a lovely sound to it. I mean, like I said, I don't snap it. To relieve the pressure of the nitrogen, they would pierce the stomach with this, and these are set to a certain length so it doesn't go too far, and they are shaped so as not to cut, sort of just pierce as smooth. And they're very rounded on the edges, a certain depth, and they would basically plunge it into the cattle's stomach and relieve the pressure so they didn't get too bloated and die from, I suppose, basically exploding from the inside out. Nice thought. So the Trocar. Like I said, I did try and do some research on this and try and be professional, but I'm not very good at that sort of thing. So you have to. I mean, it's a beautiful knife. When I was in France, I used to carry it all the time because I don't know whether it's legal now, but at the time it was legal to carry these all the time. My only, it's not a concern, but is the bee or the fly, because I have done a lot of research to sort of to see whether it's real or fake, and all the bees look different. So if anyone out there is an expert on the Laguiole, then if they could get in touch via my comment section, that would be fantastic. But it's a lovely knife. Like I said, in France, I carried it all the time, every day. Just take it to barbecues. It's fantastic, obviously, for a bit of work, not heavy work use, but I used it at work. And like I said, the obligatory corkscrew. I mean, the maker of this one, which was, when I bought it, when I bought it at the time, I never realised. You can see on there, the maker of this one, which I think is right, because the words, if I've done this correctly, arbalète means crossbow, and it has the picture of the crossbow there. And then I'm not sure what the word before the name David means, but my name's David, and it was made by someone called David, so which is amazing. So there you can sort of see there oh, sorry if I can get it in focus. The blade stamping. I mean, if it is fake, it's fantastically made because it really is a lovely knife. The other thing that makes me, which is quite rare, which I haven't seen, they usually have, see where the pins are here. On the genuine ones, or the ones made in the village of Laguiole, they have the pins in a cross arrangement, which obviously these are. They're round, but I've done a lot of research and I've never seen anyone's like these. But there you go. It's like a quick review of one of my favourite little knives and one of my oldest knives. This one's probably, I've had this for a good 10 years. But there you go. Thank you very much. So please like and subscribe. Happy St. Patrick's Day and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. Bye bye.